Hello and welcome to Uncommonly Good MTG. I am your host, the indomitable, the unrelenting, the totally awesome Dr. Yukon Socket. Yes, thank you so much. Yukon Socket. Tell your mama. So I am broadcasting to you once again from my secret underground headquarters, and I am bringing to a deck that is referred to as Braids Sacrifice, and it was posted there by one of the guys I look at frequently for great deck ideas, Dr. Bong Hits 420 PhD, likewise a fine doctor of magicology. So this is Dr. Bong's Braids Sacrifice, and I'm not aware that I've played an ORZHOV Braids Sacrifice deck yet. I've been interested in it. So far, I haven't been super hot on Braids, but maybe this deck will pull together in a way I'm not expecting. So let's take a look at the cards. We'll try to figure out how this deck works, and then we'll take it on the track and see how well it works. In the light end here, at the low end, we've got Resolute Reinforcements, which is a 1/1 for 2. But as it enters the battlefield, you get a 1/1 white soldier creature token. So technically, it's two 1/1s for 2. And it's flash. So that is a Trixie card where you can get things out on your opponent's turn and get effects because of that. So we'll try to remember ourselves to use it at the most opportune opportunities instead of just playing it like a regular creature. We got Jadar, the Ghoulcaller of Nephalia, and our pal Jadar, he puts out a 2/2 zombie at the end of every turn. When there is no decay, when there are no creatures with decayed, you put one of those guys out. So he helps just put out a creature every single turn. We got Elias, il-Kor, Sadistic Pilgrim, and whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, you gain a life. When another creature you control dies, each opponent loses a life. So Elias, or Elas, il-Kor, is going to combo with Jadar like crazy. Of course, it's very minimal amounts. It's just pretty much, 1 point to you, 1 less to them every turn. But that's something. That's tempo, and I'm a big fan of that. Plus, every time that Resolute Reinforcements, that's 2 life you're going to get out of the deal. Rite of Oblivion is 2, and it's a sorcery, and you have to sacrifice a non-land permanent, but you get to exile target non-land permanent. Exiling is a big deal. There's a lot of things out there right now that, like Tenacious D, the underdog, right? You exile him, you're not playing him again from your graveyard. That guy's dead forever. And you are going to have extra token dudes you can totally sacrifice to be that non-land permanent that Rite of Oblivion needs. Meathook Massacre. So if you pay 2 mana and X, you do X to each creature until the end of the turn, which is going to wipe out a lot of stuff potentially. And whenever a creature you control dies, an opponent loses life. Whenever a creature an opponent dies, you gain a life. So if you pan it right, there will be a big life swap at that particular point. The more dudes you have out, the more points they take. Wedding Announcement puts out token creatures, and at the end, Glorious Anthems all for +1/+1. And by the end, I mean after 3 turns. If you attack with 2 creatures, though, it'll give you a card rather than giving you a guy. So if you got enough dudes and you want one to come to the card, just attack with 2 guys in a turn. And this thing will give you 3 cards rather than 3 dudes. And you can split it, And we got Adeline, who once again puts out dudes. And her power is equal to the number of creatures you control. Every time you attack, regardless of whether Adeline's attacking or not, you put out a 1/1 human creature token. And you can choose whether it's going to attack a player or a planeswalker. We got Braids. Braids, the Arisen Nightmare. She looks way too happy, as she always does. She's got that crazy look in her eyes. Let's see. So she costs 3, and she's a 3/3. And for black, that is fantastic. Now, of course, it's double black you have to pay for it, which is why you can afford it. Because usually black can't put out dudes at the same price of what you're paying for it. It would be like a 3/2 or something like that. And even more so this one, at the beginning of your end step, you may sacrifice an artifact, creature, enchantment, land, or planeswalker. If you do, each opponent, I guess in multiplayer this would be a much better card, may sacrifice a permanent that shares a card with it. Otherwise, If they choose not to, that player loses 2 life and you draw a card. Wow, actually in multiplayer, this would rock. In standard like this, where you're only going against one guy, I'm not sure this is all that great of a card. This would be a fantastic multiplayer card. Liliana of the Veil. Just yesterday, I think for the first time, I realized that she had the Veil version of herself in the mirror behind her there. So she is, in my mind, super cheap. Look at her. She's a 3 loyalty for 3 mana, right? And she comes out, and the first thing she does is she target player sacrifices a creature. So really what you're doing is you're paying 3 mana to force your opponent to sacrifice a creature. And then when you're left over with a 1 loyalty Liliana, who can then start forcing everybody to discard. So she'd be fantastic in a discard deck. The one thing I don't like is she forces you to discard as well. Hopefully that's not going to screw you over too much. If you can get her up to her 6 ability, her ultimate, I had that happen to me probably the first time I ever played against her, and it was devastating. Because you separate all piles of the target player controls into 2 piles, and that player sacrifices one or the other. And I thought that, well, yeah, whatever. I can afford to have my stuff be gone. He separated it between my land and everything else. And I chose to get rid of all my land. And so I'm sitting there with no land and just like, okay, what am I going to do now? It was interesting. Let's see, Serra Paragon. Serra Paragon is in so many decks right now. And the reason why is because, sure, she's a 3/4 for 4 with flying. That's White's abilities right there. The power is a little on the lax side, but defense is awesome, right? So that's a good pay. And then she has, in addition to that, once each of your turns, you may play a land from your graveyard or cast a permanent spell with a mana value of 3 or less from your graveyard. And if you do, it gains when basically it gets exiled. But you'll gain 2 life if it goes away next time it dies or gets disenchanted or whatever the deal is. So that means all the stuff over in these 2 piles there, those are all things that Serra Paragon can play from your graveyard. So you got an incredible graveyard recursion factory right here. Wandering Emperor, as I say, this is white removal because somebody taps their dude while they're attacking you, you flash her out for 4 and exile that tapped creature, and you gain 2 life instead. That is so fantastic. If it's something that can die from 2 points of damage, instead you only pay -1 to create a 2/2 white samurai creature token of vigilance that can jump in front of it, at which point it gets killed, but you have a loyalty of 2 rather than 1 on the Wandering Emperor. So you got a good way you go there. Lastly, after that, you get to sit there and put +1/+1 counters on target creatures. It could be theirs, potentially. And that would gain first strike until the end of the turn. We got Edgar, the Charmed Groom. And Edgar here costs 4, you get a 4/4. He is a true ORZHOV hero. Other vampires you control get +1/+1. Guess how many vampires we're playing with so far? 0. And how many over here? None. But the good thing is that when he dies, he transforms into this artifact. And at the beginning of your upkeep, you create a 1/1 black and white vampire creature token with lifelink. And they put a bloodline counter on Edgar's coffin. When there are 3 or more bloodlines on it, you remove those counters and transform them back into Edgar. So basically, he's going to have 3 turns of pumping out vampire with lifelink. And then when he comes back, they'll all become 2/2s. And if you have the Glorious Anthem of the Wedding Announcement out there, then there'll be 3/3s. So, that's pretty decent. What's nice is that even though he dies, he'll be back in a few turns. It's really hard to keep a good Edgar down. We got the Cruelty of Gix, costs you 5. And the thing is, it's at read ahead, so you can jump to any of the levels you want to. But if you pick 1, then you have to go 1, 2, 3. If you pick 3, it's just 3, that kind of thing, right? Number 1, target opponent reveals your hand. You choose a creature or planeswalker. They have to discard it. So there's discard. Number 2, search your library for a card. That's any card. You put it into your hand and then shuffle. You lose 3 life. So that's a tutor right there. And it'll cost you 3 life, though. That's pretty rough. And lastly, you put a target creature from a graveyard, not just your own, but your opponent's, onto the battlefield under your control. That is excellent. And it costs you 5 mana. All 3 of those abilities are good. And if you just need to get to the end, you can totally do it right away. Here is Liesa, the Forgotten Archangel, costs you 5. One of my favorite cards. Flying, lifelink 4/5. So, fantastic stats, fantastic abilities. And you get this whole, paragraph of stuff. Whenever another non-creature token you control dies, and the problem is you got a lot of token creatures. But if any of these other dudes that are here in your hand die, return that card to its owner's hand at the beginning of the next end step. If a creature an opponent controls would die, you exile it instead. So while this guy's out, nobody dies and goes to the graveyard. They just die, and you never see them again. All right. In land category, we got 18 basic lands. We got 2 Kamigawa blacks, which mill and return a creature or planeswalker from your graveyard to your hand. And lastly, we got 4 of the semi-fast dual lands. That is the deck. Each of these cards is fantastic in their own right. Let's see what kind of synergy we can squeeze out of this pineapple. Let's go. And we're playing against Alan B812. All right, Alan, we got 3 mana and stuff to play. Let's keep it. Need another black. We're going to get Liliana out. And if we're going to get out Braids. All right, let's pop out the enforcements. Pop, pop, all attack. All right, we're holding him down. We've got 4 points of damage out. That's like lethal in like 5 turns. All right, who are we going to slam here? We're going to do this. A little bit of black, which means we're going to get a little bit of Liliana. And sacrifice. All attack. All right, only 4 more turns to go. Unfortunately, I have 0 desire to actually discard the cards in my hand. We'll see what we draw. Well, I guess I have to get rid of 2 cards. Who am I getting rid of here? I got 4 straight up. I'm going to go with Serra Paragon is what I'm going to keep. That makes it a lot easier, I guess. There we go. And Serra Paragon. I can't play her. That's fine. Each player discards a card. Think about it. Think about it. All right, there's the next snapper. All in for 4. 3 more turns to go. Unless we can keep Serra Paragon around. It is merely 2. Yoink. See you later. It was nice having you here, Liliana. All attack. Down to 3. We're going to sack somebody. That's 2 more. And we win. Suck it, suckerfish. Victory! All right, playing against E-Bear. 1, 2, 2, 0. 3 mana, all white. Well, that's mixed there. Okay, we're good. We're good. I was thinking it was all white. That was not quite what I was looking for. Oh, we get a touch of precious. I'm going to touch a precious. Don't be hiding that. All right, we got 2 mana out, which gives us some reinforcements. I could have, I guess, put it out on his turn and touched a precious. Could have blocked his Ascendant pack leader when he wasn't expecting it. Done something tricksy. 3 gets us Liliana. Touch the precious. All right, let's put out Liliana. Sacrifice. Liliana is cheap. Yeah, that's it. From hell's heart, I stab at thee. All attack. All right, 4 is going to get us an Elias. At which point I will force a discard. And I'll take out the other Elias. No attacks. Kind of really hoping for another mana on the next turn. All right, and discard. All attack. All right, we're capable of killing something and touching a precious. I touched it. Yeah, you stormed that festival. Sacrifice. Yep, give it up. All attack. Go ahead and block me there, greeter. Yes. You got 6 mana. That's a goodly amount. That looks like some AI generated art there. All right, come on, mana. I just think he can do anything he wants. Might be good for me to take that thing out, but we'll see what happens here. Okay, land, huh? Okay. I am a Resplendent Cathar. All attack. He's looking at the top 7 cards of his library, huh? And there's a dragon. Touch the precious. I missed it. I touched him instead. I'm sorry for touching you. We're going to sacrifice non-permanent. And do we win? Winner, winner, victory dinner. We're playing against Obsidian, lowercase o, because he couldn't afford the capital one. 1, 2, 3. All right, got some Jadar coming out. No. Go to sleep. Some people pick the noisiest piece of crap. I'm gonna send my zombies over to attack his dragon. Alright, what's 3 gonna get us? Let's just go for combat. Go over the dragon, please. All right, so we got 4. I'm thinking Edgar's the way to go on the next turn. You're touching Jadar. You think that he's the guy. All right, black it up. We're going to Edgar it. Let's send in Sergio. And we got some guys. There's somebody that I can slaughter. Somebody might want to be slaughtered more. Alright, so this guy makes mana, and that's pretty much it. Add 1 mana creature. That guy is a jerk. Let's kill that guy. Alright, Sadistic Pilgrim. Attack and attack. I'm going to draw a card out of this one. Only one blocker I'm willing to do. Okay, well, some people are getting a little buff now. That's cool. Two more humans. Let's do this. Let's next it in. Got something, a little bit of evasion there. Hopefully we'll finish off the game. Alright, so he's going to gain a couple... Well, he can only gain 1 life off of that. Yeah, you don't have any flyers, my friend. All right, and we win. And we win. Victory. Alright, we're playing against MrBigMan with the right amount of capitals. Congratulations. You sprung for the right pack. It's classy and elegant all at the same time. 2 mana. Let's keep it. I think feeling good about this. Shakaka. There's our 3rd. No Wandering Emperor, but you know, I need that double white for that. Everything else can be played, well, except for, of course, Edgar. I'm sure I'll pick up another white. Alright, let's, gosh dang it. Forget to use those as tricks. She was going to come in for the attack. I'd double up. She'd be dead. It would be gorgeous and beautiful. Somebody's a little too strong. No blocks. Alright, there's our 3rd mana. What are we going to do with this one? We're going to Liliana this. We're going to know what love is. We wandered to show us. There it goes. Yes! No, we're okay. We'll block. And I'll touch the red rope. I'll touch it. I'll touch it. There you go, speed bump. Have a good time. And I still didn't get my 4th mana. That's disappointing in a large way. Let's just pretend that we can't do anything good. And let's force people to discard a card. And what are we going to get rid of? Jadar. And we're going to say, we're going to pretend we're going to block, and he's going to come with both people. And I'm going to jump out there and kill his intrepid adversary. It's going to be glorious. He's going to go after Braids. He's going to hate her. And then Liliana is going to kill whoever's left over. I mean, he's got all of his mana untapped at this point. What you going to throw out there, G? There's number 4. All right, start off. A little like that. And we're going to Edgar this place. What are you doing exiling stuff from a graveyard? You're a protector. You should be protecting things in the graveyard, not banishing them. There you go. Alright, start delivering me my vampires. Yoink. There's number 2. What can we do about that? And he's only got 3 for defense, which means any blocker I put out is going to be awesome at killing. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and +1 counter. And I'm going to be tricksy. We'll just play it out. You think he's going to go after the Wandering Ember? Both? Yeah, he is. Alright, here we go. Can I just play this against that same guy the same turn? 1 and 3. That's a lot of life to gain, though. Good for you. It's like another 10 more. All right, here is number 5, which is going to get us Liesa. And I can do -1, +1. Let's +1 it. Let's put it on the flyer. Yeah, okay. 1 in. We got a large iceberg to chip down. 4 points at a time. Okay, here we go. Let me guess, it's going to be at least 4? Oh, you're leaving her, huh? Let's put out Braids and the Jadar. At this point, we will pump the life gainer. Two. See, Adeline's going to be cool. It's just if the board gets wiped again, that would suck. Alright, we're going to give Braids something to talk about. And sure, let's just flood the board. Let's just do that. Alright then. 1, 2, go. I should have popped the pumpkin head. I need another 1/1, like I need a hole in my head. Alright, if you attack, if you can't pump, then Wandering Emperor will just kill you. I think I want to take out creatures. Yep, that's why Wandering Emperor lived through it. All right, come on. Ooh, that's a 7. I guess the Wandering Emperor's not going to live through that. Okay, I got 2 legends, and then we win! That's what we call victory! Alright, so here we are with Braids Sacrifice. And I'm going to tell you, I am not impressed with Braids. Mostly because, like I was saying during the game, it's like it says, if you do, each opponent may sacrifice a permanent. For each that they don't, that player loses 2 life and you draw a card. I mean, okay, so you draw a card, that's nice. They lose 2 life, that's nice. But it's like, if I sacrifice something, I want tit for tat, man. I want them to have to lose it. I want it to be like Invoke Despair, and I just don't feel like Braids is as powerful as she should be. I mean, maybe even at that, she should have been like a 6 or something like that. I don't know. I'm just not as impressed. I do like the art quite a bit. It reminds me a lot of Stranger Things. Like the guy in the Upside Down. Vecna, there we go. So, yeah, she's the Braids of Braids Sacrifice right there. But I don't really think that she's the hero. In fact, I felt like just getting rid of her a number of times when I needed to. Who was the real hero here? Probably Serra Paragon. I mean, there's nothing super strong. I put it this way. There's nothing super strong about this deck. Actually, every card in this deck is super strong. It's just a card. It's a deck that's made up of great cards. All of them are good. But so as such, nothing really stands out from itself. But Serra Paragon, I think, is one of the better cards because it gives you access to cards in your graveyard. And it's things permanents that are 3 or less, but that's pretty much anything, in piles number 1 or 2 right there. And so that's where Serra Paragon stands out over the rest of them there. But yeah, they're all good. You get any one of these cards out and you got something good going on. And that's the real power of Braids Sacrifice. Regardless if it's called Braids or Sacrifice, it's really called, like every card is great deck. So let's give this one a rating. The question is this deck competitive? And I think it actually is. I think it is. I personally just got a 71% win rate with it out of 7 matches. So it did way better. It won way more than it lost, let's put it that way. And it has a very good feel to it when you're playing it. Number 2, is this deck fun? It has a certain appeal. I'm not going to give it high marks for fun. I like the fact that there's some graveyard recursion. That's kind of cool. I like the fact that it's pumping out little dudes that you can sacrifice for other reasons. But it kind of lacks the fire of imagination. So I'm not going to give it high points. It's not great. It's not unfun. Let's put it that way. And lastly, is this deck interesting? And no, I'm not. It's not interesting. Like I said, it's all the cards we're already familiar with. It's all the cards that we liked a lot. It's just putting them together in a different combination. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, it's a good deck. It's a good one to play. It's just not the most imaginative deck out there. So what am I going to rate this one? I'm going to give it an A- because it's definitely a deck that you're going to have a good chance of winning with. And if you happen to like this brand of ORZHOV, it's a very decent deck. It's just not going to capture the spirit of your imagination. So if you so choose to play with this deck, I hope that you have more fun than I did. That's all for now. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like and subscribe. From all of us here in the secret underground headquarters of Uncommonly Good MTG, have a great day. In the words of my people, screw you guys, I'm going home. Bye.